साल हर कैडेट बने भारत का लाल ज्वाइन करो मिशन बन जाओ शान न्यू करियर्स एकेडमी ऑफिसर की पहचान तिरंगे
Let's start. These are the words that were there in the paper. Vernacular refers to, quickly. Vernacular is a language of ordinary people or influence used for specialized communication. Particular group. A becomes. Rhetoric is something to influence people. That is B1. Parlance. Particular group of parlance. B4. D. Where did you use the word parlance? Where do you use the word parlance? And 100% sure you've seen this word. Where would you see this word? Or where you heard this word? Yes. How many of you watched that movie? This movie, Johnny Depp. Pirates of the Caribbean. He's a parlance. So that's where you basically says, he says, okay, that's it. He also used the word parlay. What does parlay refer to? Parlay is generally putting more bets. Is it clear? So that is where we use these words. So whenever you're doing these words, what do? You tend to mark it out because same as the case with those when we saw those parts of speech. What happens? We make a mistake. This is where the mistake will come. Will not come in any other thing. So vernacular refers to what? Language of ordinary people. Rhetoric is something. Influence. Parlance is a particular group. Jargon is a technical. That is how we do it. Next one. Revoke. Revoke क्या होता है? Revoke means to, अगर हम बात करें, cancelling of the agreement. Here that is what we have revoked. B becomes 1. Exonerate is to set free. C2. Sorry, C2. I'll just mark it like this. I will mark it correctly. Venerable is worship. A becomes thing occurring between people of the same communities, intimacies. Let's continue further. Atonement of sins. Making amends for mistakes. Next one, sacrilege. Contaminating a holy place. Another word is blasphemy. Another word is desecration. What's the word for sacrilege? Blasphemy, अगर हम कुछ गलत बोलें. Desecrate, again, कुछ चीज को खराब कर दे, फाड़ दे, उसको desecrate. Clawback. Clawback is also to gain situation. India clawed back in the series. Is it clear? Is to gain situation. Claw. The word claw means धीरे धीरे करके. Clawback. D becomes bandwagon. People following others. Yes or no? This is a bandwagon. Generally, people tend to, अगर किसी को criticize करेंगे, सारी करने लग जाएंगे. Bandwagon. Is it clear or not? Next. Felony. What is felony? A serious crime. Like say, for example, when everybody started speaking against suddenly Allahabad, we saw a bandwagon of people coming forward. हर कोई बोल रहा था. Okay. Restitution. Return to the. Restitution generally refers to restoration. तो इसमें कुछ नहीं है, इन्होंने different way से पूछ लिया. Exact meaning नहीं. Chagrin क्या होता है? Disappointed. What is that? Distressed on account of humiliation or this? What is diatribe? By the way, it is, let's see, abusive. Chagrin refers to disappointed. So which word is more abusive? Distress on account of humiliation, a long written piece of criticism would be diatribe. Yes or no? What does chagrin here refers to? Distress on account of humiliation. Any doubts? Okay. Wrangle. What does wrangle refers to? Complicated and prolonged argument. Twisted hota na wrangle. So it becomes A3. Wacky, crazy, goofy. Another word we use is goofy. Some friend who keeps on making you smile by making stupid faces. We generally make wacky faces in front of a child. Codex, ancient text. Postscript, piece of information. That is fine. Generally PS करके लिखा होता है ना, इसके आगे ये चीज पढ़ना चाहिए. Okay, next one, infiltrate. What does infiltrate refers to? Sorry? Something that always happens is infiltrate, interment, burying the dead, A1, D4, sang Freud. ये किससे बना है Freud? Composure. It's an idiom. Sang Freud. To stay calm. Or AC, somebody who can speak well. ऐसी और AC से word बना हमारे पास कौन सा? Oral and oral. Oral क्या होता है? Mouth. Oral क्या होता है? Ears. Ex gratia. Free. Generally हम बोलते हैं कि उसको because his father died, he got an ex gratia in place of it. The right of the past to bring action, something that is done for free. The government decides to give him this job. Yes or no? Suo moto, अपने आप से. The court decided to take suo moto notice. Arraignment. Arraignment is refers to generally lambast someone or chide someone. Basically, या किसी को डांटना. अब डांटना में state the charges in the court of law. Yes, that would be the one which is more likely, which is putting in right of capacity to bring an action in. So what is this? C4. Think about it a bit. तो उसमें सही हो जाएगा. Locus standi, अपने आप से. हम ये करते हैं आर्टिकल कौन से में था? 32. So when we talk about habeas corpus, हम अपने आप से केस नहीं कर सकते because हम तो जेल में हैं. Right of capacity to bring an action. किसके पास right होता है? किस सबके पास है हमारे लिए केस का. That is what we do. Next, failure to comply. Something which is already decided with no option to failure to comply. Hedonist. Hoplarchy. So we have A1, B4, C2, D3. Please do that because over there I also make these mistakes. So fast. So one question wrong is not actually in case of your thing. It is not. Suppose I'll make it easier for you. You have 1/3 negative marking and 3 marks for correct. Say for example, I'm just putting an example to make because then I do point would make a difference. So 1/3 negative marking makes it -1. Which you're thinking is +4 actually becomes which you're thinking is +3 actually becomes -1 because of this silly mistake we made. What's the difference of marks? Like this, even if we do 5 questions like this, what's the difference of marks? Which overall makes a lot of difference. So best is to avoid the silliest of mistakes. Zenith is the top. Nadir क्या होता है? Pittance. A very small amount of pittance was offered. Amble. Rhapsody. Written or spoken expression of faith. Another word for it is word. Any doubts? Okay, next. Dam spill. Fuspataka. Something that was some part of a longer text, musical situation or events that are less impressive than expected. So it becomes A3. Excerpt. कुछ एक हिस्सा निकाल लिया extract से. So इसमें क्या हो जाएगा? Small part of a longer text or this, that is excerpt. Rostrum. Scourge. That's what the answers are. Is it clear? So when we are doing this, these are what I told you. These are not going to be foreign words. What are these? These are terms that we have in terms of legal, in terms of idiomatic, and everything. So today we've done like 500 words. They are more than sufficient for today. Tomorrow I'm going to start with something new. Can I give you pass of speech exercise? That will be a homework. So I want all of you. Should I give you a test today only or homework? You've not revised? I want to revise or not? Let's start. These are the words that were there in the paper. Vernacular refers to, quickly. Vernacular is a language of ordinary people or influence used for specialized communication, particular group. A becomes rhetoric is something to influence people. That is B1. Parlance, particular group of parlance. B4. D. Where did you use the word parlance? Where do you use the word parlance? And I'm 100% sure you've seen this word. Where would you see this word? Or where have you heard this word? Yes. How many of you watched that movie? This movie, Johnny Depp. Pirates of the Caribbean. He's a parlance. So that's where you basically says, he says, okay, that's a movie. He also used the word parlay. What does parlay refer to? Parlay is generally putting more bets. Yes. Is it clear? So that is where we use these words. So whenever you're doing these words, what do? You tend to mark it out because same as the case with those when we saw those parts of speech. What happens? We make a mistake. This is where the mistake will come. Will not come in any other thing. So vernacular refers to what? Language of ordinary people. Rhetoric is something. Influence. Parlance is a particular group. Jargon is a technical. That is how we do it. Next one. Revoke. Revoke क्या होता है? Revoke means to, अगर हम बात करें, cancelling of the agreement. Here that is what we have revoked. B becomes 1. Exonerate is to set free. C2. Sorry, C2. I'll just mark it like this. I will mark it correctly. Venerable, worship. A becomes thing occurring between people of the same communities, intimacies. Let's continue further. Atonement of sins. Making amends for mistakes. Next one, sacrilege. Contaminating a holy place. Another word is blasphemy. Another word is desecration. What's the word for sacrilege? Blasphemy, अगर हम कुछ गलत बोलें. Desecrate, again, कुछ चीज को खराब कर दे, फाड़ दे, उसको desecration. Okay. Clawback. Clawback is also to gain situation. India clawed back in the series. Is it clear? Is to gain situation. Claw. The word claw means धीरे धीरे करके. Clawback. D becomes bandwagon. People following others. Yes or no? This is a bandwagon. Generally, people tend to, अगर किसी को criticize करेंगे, सारी करने लग जाएंगे. Bandwagon. Is it clear or no? Next. Felony. What is felony? A serious crime. Like say, for example, when everybody started speaking against Ranveer Allahabadiya, we saw a bandwagon of people coming forward. हर कोई बोल रहा था. Okay. Restitution. Return to the. Restitution generally refers to restoration. तो इसमें कुछ नहीं है, इन्होंने different way से पूछ लिया. Exact meaning नहीं. Chagrin क्या होता है? Disappointed. What is that? Distressed on account of humiliation or this? What is diatribe? By the way, it is, let's see, abusive. Chagrin refers to disappointment. So which word is more abusive? Distress on account of humiliation, a long written piece of criticism would be diatribe. Yes or no? What does chagrin here refers to? Distress on account of humiliation. Any doubts? Okay. Wrangle. What does wrangle refers to? Complicated and prolonged argument. Twisted hota na wrangle. So it becomes A3. Wacky, crazy, goofy. Another word we use is goofy. Some friend who keeps on making you smile by making stupid faces. We generally make wacky faces in front of a child. Codex. ancient text. Postscript, piece of information. That is one. जनरली PS करके लिखा होता है ना, किसके आगे ये चीज है, पढ़ना चाहूँ. Okay, next one, infiltrate. What does infiltrate refers to? Sorry? Something that always happens is infiltrate, interment, Baringdet, A1, D4, sang Freud. ये किससे बना है Freud? Composure. It's an idiom. Sang Freud. To stay calm. Or ऐसी, somebody who can speak well. ऐसी और ऐसी से वर्ड बना हमारे पास कौन सा? Oral and oral. Oral क्या होता है? Mouth. Oral क्या होता है? Yes. Ex gratia. Free. Generally हम बोलते हैं कि उसको because his father died, he got an ex gratia in place of it. The right of capacity to bring action, something that is done for free. The government decides to give him this job. Yes or no? Suo moto, अपने आप से. The court decided to take suo moto notice. Arraignment. Arraignment is refers to generally lambast someone or chide someone. Basically, या किसी को डांटना. अब डांटना में state the charges in the court of law. Yes, that would be the one which is more likely, which is fitting in. Right of capacity to bring an action in. So what is this? C4. Think about it a bit. तो उसमें सही हो जाएगा. Locus standi, अपने आप से. हम ये करते हैं, आर्टिकल कौन से में था? 32. So when we talk about habeas corpus, हम अपने आप से केस नहीं कर सकते because हम तो जेल में हैं. Right of capacity to bring an action. किसके पास राइट होता है? किस सबके पास है हमारे लिए केस का. That is what we have. Next, failure to comply. Something which is already decided with no option to deny. Failure to comply. Hedonist. Hoplarchy. So we have A1, B4, C2, D3. Please do that because over there I also make these mistakes. Fast. So one question wrong is not actually in case of your thing, it is not. Suppose I'll make it easier for you. You have 1/3 negative marking and 3 marks for correct. Say for example, I'm just putting an example to make, because then I do point would make a difference. So 1/3 negative marking makes it -1, which you're thinking is +4 actually becomes, sorry, which you're thinking is +3 actually becomes -1 because of this silly mistake we made. What's the difference of marks? Like this, even if we do 5 questions like this, what's the difference of marks? Which overall makes a lot of difference. So best is to avoid the silliest of mistakes. Zenith is the top. Nadir क्या होता है? Pittance. A very small amount of pittance was offered. Amble. Rhapsody. Written or spoken expression of face. Another word for it is? Any doubts? Okay, next. Damn spill. Fuspataka. Something that causes some part of a longer text, musical situation or events that are less impressive than expected. So it becomes A3. Excerpt. कुछ एक हिस्सा निकाल लिया extract से. So इसमें क्या हो जाएगा? Small part of a longer text or this. That is excerpt. Rostrum. Scourge. That's what the answers are. Is it clear?
Which are basically one word substitution towards these. We are going to do our 200 words today. We'll make sure that these are the words which are mostly used. Abrogation refers to cancellation. Adjudicate a case. Court ने adjudicate किया. That means it had to make a formal judgment. Allegory. Allegory is a symbolic. What's another synonym for allegory in terms of the normal one? Analogy. Allegory is like, say for example, I told you also, हम medieval history में पढ़ते हैं Shahjahan shooting a bow and arrow in the figure of a darkness. उसको क्या बोल दिया? What he's killing? Poverty. That is what we talk in terms of allegory. Another word is analogy was used. Amescuri. तो किसी को बोल दिया कि भाई आके तुम्हें को information दे law से related. That's generally a court appointed amescuri. Amescuri is somebody who's going to give you information related to the law, but what is there? He is not. Anarchy, lack of government. Oplarchy, mobs. Hoplarchy, just like that. Bureaucracy, non-government. That is the case. Apostate, somebody who has given up on religion. Autocracy, one person. Similarly, the ruler who's behaves like an autocrat, despotic. The person who behaves like that is called despot. तो हमारे को ये वर्ड्स पता है. Bureaucracy, canvassing for somebody versus canvas. Canvas is the where we do art or the sales. What is canvas? Other ones asking for votes. AWS. Chicanery. Trickery to win elections. Chicanery. Coalition. Alliances of many parties. Concordant, in agreement between religion and the government. We would use in terms of it. Concordant verdict. Is it clear? Constituency, the area where one goes. Coup d'etat, overthrowing a government. Where has it happened maximum number of times? Pakistan, Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire, all the African countries we see what? Coup d'etat. What does coup d'etat refers to? Overthrowing a government. Defection, moving from one party to another. Despotic, dictatorship. Diplomacy, non-government. When we talk managing, is it clear or not? We are using diplomatic channels to solve the Pakistan and India issue. Diplomatic means managing it from the outside. Like similarly, diplomatic channels are used between. Today, what's going to happen? Mr. Trump is meeting Putin. Where? Alaska. So they are using diplomatic channels for talking. India and Pakistan, even after the first series of it, so they were using diplomatic channels through UAE for discussion. Is it clear or not? Dissent note? Disagree. Enfranchise. What is enfranchise? Franchise is voting. Gerrymandering, changing the constituency according to your own political benefits. Alliteration, repetition of the initial sound, alliteration. ऐसी consonant से क्या बना? Assonance. When the vowel sounds repetition happens, we call it as assonance. We did this also when we have alliterations in the end. We do not put apostrophe s. Remember what we did yesterday? That's where we did. Analogy, another word for it, allegory. Another word for analogy is allegory. These are rhetoric words or literally the same. Antithesis. Anti means putting two things together, opposites together. What's another word for it? Juxtaposition. Yes or no? Aphorism. Your witty and short witty reply. Expressing a truth. Ballad. A part of a poem. Burlesque. Comic imitation of a serious word. Cacophony. Harsh sounding words. Catharsis. Emotional release through. This is a very nice word. Catharsis was a word we read. Emotional release through art or drama. That is what we have. Colloquial form of writing. Something which is a formal way of, informal way of writing. जैसे हम you को क्या लिख देते हैं? You. That is colloquial. Denounce. किसी को नीचा दिखाना. Didactic. Intending to teach a moral lesson. Eulogy. To praise. Another word for it is obituary. The last. At the time of death. Obituary. Okay. Euphemism. A mild word instead of a harsh one. So, like, say, for example, we don't call somebody Gada, we call him, or I don't call somebody a fool, I'll call him Ninkampu. Well, that's actually harsh sounding only. So, instead of it, is it clear or not? So, we don't use it. Euphemism. Foreshadowing. Come in. एक foreboding presence होता है. Threatening, ominous. Foreshadowing क्या होता है? Some events which are going to come.
hyperbole, exaggeration. He spoke in hyperbole, he spoke in exaggeration. Any doubts with this? Irony. Say something or do something else. Okay. Malapropism. The word mala comes from it. Misuse of word for similar sounding one. Malapropism. Like my friend here, instead of saying important, uses important. Changes it. Malapropism. Metaphor. Unlike things that comparing. This is another word for juxta, position, antithesis, opposite things together, right? Okay. Oxymoron. That's interesting, but contradictory terms placed together. Oxymoronic approach. Is it clear? Okay, now we come to the words which are terms of philosophy, sociology, and culture. Agnostic. Somebody who believes the existence of God is unknowable, that's agnostic. Similarly, we talked about somebody who says there is no God, is called what? Atheist. Somebody who does not agree with the existence of God. Anyone? What is the person who does not believe in the existence of God? Think. Apostate, or who does not has given up on religion. Who says there's no God and everything. Usko kya bolte hain? Apostate. Atheist is somebody who does not. Agnostic believes the existence of God is unknowable. You cannot find it. Altruistic quality is for humanitarians. Animism. We expect that everything has spirits. Is it clear? Okay. Anthro means man. Procentrism. When we talk about man, center of the universe hai, or everything revolve around him, we call it as anthropocentrism. Asceticism. Somebody who's given on self-divine. Caste, social class. Collectivism. Prioritizing group over individual. Like when we talk about socialism, it's favored collectivism rather than capitalism. Cosmopolitan culture. We have different types of culture. When we talk about Bangalore, we talk about cities having cosmopolitan crowd. So when they use the word cosmopolitan, क्या होता है? Cosmopolitan crowd क्या होता है? कि भाई अलग-अलग जाति से लोग, गढ़ के लोग साथ में आके रहने लगे, उसको क्या बोलेंगे? Cosmopolitan. Cultural revivism. कि cultures जो हैं, उनको अपने standard से judge किया. Cultures relativism. You judge cultures according to yours. Like say, for example, you go to a new country and then you see their culture and then you're relating it over. This is how it is. They don't follow this. Like say, for example, if I go to say a hello in Arabic, how do they say hello? They rub noses. So we would find it culturally inappropriate. That's how they do it. Deterministic, kya ho jata? Something which is already decided. What is dogmas? Social dogmas. It is beliefs that nobody can question. Like when we talk about social dogmas. Can you give me an example of social dogmas? What are the examples of social dogmas that we have? Like when we say earlier times, the women need to keep their forehead covered. Customs they have. Is it clear? Anything. Beliefs, authoritative beliefs that have held as an unquestionable truth. Empirism. Empirism क्या होता है? Knowledge from observation and experience. इसका opposite क्या होता है? Chimerical. Ethnocentrism. Ethno words comes from ethnicity. Judging your cultures by one's existentialism. Philosophy of individuals' meanings and fatalistic. Like when we talk about it, fatal क्या है? लिखा गया. Fate से आगे. Fatalism. They say, okay, it's written. Hedonist, pleasure, greed and pleasure. Iconalism. What is iconalism? He is somebody who's opposite to the beliefs. Iconalism is somebody who goes opposite. So we would say Raja Ram Mohan Roy was somebody who started with iconalism, who is
talk against the established beliefs. Materialistic, believe that physical material is the only reality. Materialistic, हम बोलते हैं ना, he has materialistic tendency. उसके हिसाब से पैसा ही सब कुछ है. बोलते कि नहीं बोलते? So that's how the word materialism comes. Nihilism, rejection of all moral and religious principles. So when we talk about terrorists, they tend to be a nihilistic approach. They don't consider anything moral or they don't consider anything correct. That's a nihilism. Pantheism. He believes that the God is identical with the believe that God is identical with universe. That is what we refer. So when we take God is identical with the universe, so panth, that means moving together. Okay. Now we come to everyday advanced English word. Abysmal performance. Poor performance. Abysmal refers to extremely poor performance. Acrimony between the two friends. Fighting हो रही है, hostility है. दोनों आपस में लड़ रहे हैं, उसको क्या बोलेंगे? Acrimony. He gave a statement which was ambiguous. Ambiguous means not clear. कुछ भी आप उसका लगा सकते हो. Nobody can figure out what is there. अब मैं बोलूं कि हाँ ये हो रहा है, कुछ भी बोल दो कि ambiguous statement दे दो. भारत कुछ ना कुछ ठोस कदम लेगा. अब we don't know what we are going to take. Is it clear or not? Benevolent, kind. Another word for it. Munificent. Another word for it is generous. These are all the synonyms हम जो already कर चुके हैं. Candid is a frank talk. है ना? He had a candid talk with his father. Frank talk. Conundrum. करूं या ना करूं. What does conundrum refers to? Confusion. Another word. D से word क्या होता है? Dilemma. क्या करूं? Is it clear or not? I am in a एक और word. It starts more like an AI word. No. Another word, delusion, but AI से सोचो. This is a type of a chat GPT given by AI, Airtel for free. Perplex. That's us. So basically, perplexity refers to something that's going to take away confusion. Okay. Decrypt, worn out, broken from age. Decrypted. Eminent, famous, prominent, well-known. Opposite of it becomes what? Would be opposite of this word? Notorious. Infamy. Yes or no? Putative measures. What is putative refers to? Secretive or sneaky. Gregarious. Sociable. Outward. Imminent. होके रहेगा. About to happen. Insidious. कोई चीज जो बहुत harmful हो, उसको क्या बोलेंगे? Insidious में. Going to be very causing harm to you. Judicious decision. Sagacious. Very good. Wise. Sagacious. Wise. बड़ा sensible है. Another word for it. It is also a word we talk about. Judicious is for similar word. उस word के दो meanings है. एक could be also used for coded. Discreet. That also refers to wise. है ना? So we have these words. Lethargic, lazy. Sluggish. Another word. Somebody who's over pampered. Over pampered. Starts with C. O. Over pampered. Corset. Somebody who's over pampered is called corset. Meticulous. He keeps his things in place. Very careful and precise. Novice. Learner. Beginner. Amateur. Yes or no? What else? No. Obsolete data.
खत्म हो चुका है, not required. Plausible suggestion, reasonable. Plausible क्या होता है? Reasonable, believable. Pragmatic approach, practicality. He needs pragmatic. Opposite क्या हो जाएगा pragmatic का? Like when we say Sardar Patel was pragmatic, he was something who dealt practically, whereas Pandit Nehru was generally what? Think idealistic. अगर मैं किसी के साथ बुरा नहीं करूंगा, मेरे साथ कोई बुरा नहीं करेगा. Pragmatic क्या कहते हैं कि don't let somebody do badly. So that's practical approach and the idealistic. Tenacious. He's very tenacious fellow. He is very persistent, focused, determined. What's another word for persistent? Continued effort के लिए क्या word होता है? What's another word for continued effort? वो continued effort करता है. He is persistent with his goal. What is another word for it? He follows it up every day basis. Persistent, consistent. Any other? He's consistent. Yes or no? With the way that he studies. Focus. Now we come to idiomatic and rare words. Adamant means simple, stubborn. What's another word for it? Starts with O. B. सोच सकते हैं. Adamant का word. Obstinate. Another word. OB. Obdurate. Hard-hearted. Who doesn't want to give up? Angst. He was in a shock. That's how we use the word. He spoke in an angst way. Aghast. Aplomb. He spoke with aplomb. Confidence. Self-assurance. He spoke in a aplombic way. Full of life. Boon. Blessing. Opposite क्या हो जाता है? He is a boon to the society. He is pain. That's the word for curse, hatred. Yes or no? There's good and the bad when we talk about. Bungle. धोखा दे देना. Bungle. It also refers to blotch, not to do it properly. India avoided or debacle. Debacle is a rout, a big defeat. It also refers to a rout or big defeat. I'm in doldrums. Sadness. What's doldrums refers to? Sadness. Where do we see the term doldrums, by the way, in geography? Yeah. So the winds are doldrums. So you're in doldrums because the wind does not move. So when the wind does not move, then you have nothing. Is it clear or not? Okay. So we see a state of inactivity or depression. By the way, let's go back to a bit of geography. What are horse latitudes? Between what? 25 to 30. This is at equator, doldrums. So there's no wind movement. Here also there's no wind movement. If there is no wind movement, what happens? Why they used to call it horse latitudes? Ghode feng dete the. Because the ghodas used to be very heavy in the ship. Then they have to do chappu by themselves. Is it clear or not? Next. Elucidate. Can you please elucidate to explain? Clearly. Enigma. समझ ही नहीं आता. A mystery. That's why the machine Enigma was used during the time of Hitler. Enigma. Something that you could not decode, the machine. Asterisk. Only a few people get it. Asterisk. Generally, that is the word for it. What do we have? Only a few people tend to get it. That's the word. Okay. Back. Finesse. He spoke with finesse. a tact, a skill of handling. He has finesse in this. Is it clear or not? That is what we call as finesse. Galvanize, to inspire. The Indian troops or Subhash Chandra Bose galvanized the troops to inspire them. Harbinger, a messenger, a sign of things to come, or a messenger also. He's a harbinger of good news. Is it clear? We use it for impetuous, rash. है ना? He takes impetuous decision, rash, बिना सोचे हुए. In incognito mode. In disguise, not to show. ऐसी word बनता है cache. Cache means hide. Labyrinth. भूल भुलैया. A labyrinth would be भूल भुलैया. A maze. याद रह जाएगा? Labyrinth क्या है? भूल भुलैया. Where do you bury people? Grave. Another word? Necropolis. Another word? Cemetery. Where you bury people. Clear है कि नहीं? Mirage. What does mirage refers to? A countless number. Something that you cannot talk. So then we talk about it as a mirage. What's that? Mirage. Nonchalant. Calm and unconcerned. Something that you don't care about. So that's what we say, calm and unconcerned. I was in a quagmire, to do or not to do, a difficult situation. Quagmire refers to a nonchalant. He was very nonchalant, calm and unconcerned. Another word for it? Unflappable. Is it clear? He's not bothered. Quagmire, difficult situation. Ubiquitous. Gods everywhere. Gods ubiquitous. Is it clear? Now we again come to more legal terms. Acquittal. Somebody who said legal judgment that someone is not guilty or someone is set free. What's another word for acquittal? Synonym for acquittal? Exonerate. Yes. Adjourned. The meeting was adjourned. Suspended. Affidavit. Something you give as a written statement to be true. Annul. The meeting was annulled. Declared invalid. I appealed before you. Appeal, another word is solicit, entreat. Generally, bolte na, his appeal is lying in the higher court. That means against any verdict you can appeal. That is a word for appealing. Any verdict. Okay. Either acquittal, set free. Acquittal refers to set free. Again, I'm going to start with it. These are the simpler ones, so slowly. What does acquittal refers to? Something which is set free. He has been exonerated in this case. The meeting was adjourned. Meeting was suspended. Another word for it is abeyance. थोड़ी देर के लिए होल्ड पे लगा दिया. एफिडेविट क्या होता है? हम कोई स्टेटमेंट बताते हैं कि भाई ये तो सही होगी. That's what we call as a affidavit. The meeting was annulled, cancelled. The bills have been declared annulled, null and void. That is how we use these words. I appeal. His appeal is lying in a higher court. Appeal also refers to solicit, entry. Appeal क्या होता है? जब हम हायर कोर्ट में अप्लाई करें उसको क्या बोलेंगे? Okay. So World Bank says we only act as an arbitrator between India and Pakistan for the Indus Water Treaty. That is something to settle disputes outside of. Arbitration is generally to another word for it. Arbitration और अभी recently क्या चलता है? लोक अदालत में क्या होता है? What's the word for it? To settle a dispute. Arbitration के लिए. सोचो. Mediation. That's another word for it. Mediation. Clear है कि नहीं? Bipartisan. Bipartisan. Supposedly by two parties. Bylaw. Law or organization. Bylaws. Is it clear? Bylaws by the organization. उसके बाद करेंगे. Clauses. एक specific provisions in a legal document. Clause A, जिस हमने फंडामेंटल राइट्स पढ़ते हैं 19(1)A, उसके अंदर फर्दर प्रोविजन दिया हुआ है ना, राइट टू फ्रीडम ऑफ स्पीच 19(1)A. Clemency is clemency appeal, mercy appeal. Mercy granted to an offender would be called as a mercy appeal. The property was confiscated, seized. जनरली हमने एक एक्ट बनाया नोन एज द एनिमी एक्ट. उसके अंदर जितने भी वायलेटर्स हैं उनकी प्रॉपर्टी को क्या कर दिया जाता है? सीज कर. डिक्री, फॉर्मल ऑर्डर बाय एन अथॉरिटी. जनरली हम बोलते हैं कोर्ट डिक्री. ऑर्डर पास कर दिया कोर्ट ने, इसको क्या बोल देंगे हम? कोर्ट डिक्री. ये क्लियर है कि नहीं? Devolution of rights, transfer of rights from one. Is it clear? The center government or the state government has decided to devolute certain rights to the पंचायती राज. उन्होंने दूसरे को कुछ certain rights दे दिए. That's what we say. Doctrine, जैसे हमने बात किया doctrine of lapse, doctrine of so and so. It's an official set of documents or belief. Embezzlement of funds, चोरी किया जाना, उसको क्या बोलेंगे? किसी का ट्रस्ट होना, उसको क्या बोल देंगे? एम्बेजल. एंडोर्समेंट, किसी को सपोर्ट करना, उसको क्या बोल देते हैं हम? एंडोर्समेंट. द गवर्नमेंट एंडोर्स्ड हिज ओपिनियंस. इज इट क्लियर और नॉट? नेक्स्ट, एक्स्ट्राडिशन ट्रीटी बिटवीन द टू. एक्स्ट्राडिशन क्या होता है? जैसे हमने बात किया, इंडिया हैज एन एक्स्ट्राडिशन ट्रीटी विद द लॉट ऑफ कंट्रीज. एक्स्ट्राडिशन का मतलब क्या होता है? कि हम वहां से लोगों को लेके आ सकते हैं. जैसे हमने बात किया, दिस गाय नीरव मोदी वेंट टू, नॉट नीरव मोदी, मेहुल चोक्सी वेंट टू Bahamas. We don't have an extradition treaty with him, so he decided to be there. Is it clear or not? Extradition क्या होता है? Surrender of criminal to another jurisdiction. जब होता है, कौन आया था एक्स्ट्राडिशन से? कोई उसका बताओ. क्रिमिनल अबू सलीम from Belgium, because we had an extradition treaty. So we can get them. Another person who has recently come from US, involved in the Taj attacks. So there was another person involved in the Taj attacks. So because हमारे पास extradition treaty है, तो हमने क्या किया? उसको वहां से लेके आ गए. Because he is responsible for the crimes in India. I forgot that guy's name, but that is Rana something. That is the case. इम्पीचमेंट. इम्पीचमेंट क्या होता है? निकाल देना ऑफिशियल पोस्ट से, उसको क्या बोल देंगे? इम्पीच. पब्लिक ऑफिशियल विद मिसकंडक्ट, अभी किसके अगेंस्ट हो रहा है? जस्टिस ऑफ द हाई कोर्ट हु दे से कैश स्कैम जो है, मनी वाज फाउंड इन हिज. ओके. इंजंक्शन नोटिस, आप कोर्ट किसी को रोक देता है कि मैं अभी के लिए ये चीज रोक दे रहा हूं, उसको क्या बोलेंगे? इंजंक्शन. Ratify is to approve an agreement. Ratifying something refers to agreement. Now we come to the next set of words again. उसको क्या बोलेंगे? Literature and communication set of words. पहले हमने क्या किया? कोर्ट के टर्म्स के, लीगल टर्म्स किए. तो आपको वही चीज है. These are not just foreign words. These are terms that we use in this. Like for parts. पिछली बार आया था for. ये क्या होता है? Fake. Is it clear? So when we use the word for leather, what does this refers to? Fake leather. So whenever you go buy leather jacket, which you think is leather, will not be leather. It will be for. So what's that for? Fake. Allegiance. आप किस साइड की तरफ लॉयल्टी है, उसको क्या बोलते हैं? Allegiance. Anachronism. Something out of its proper time period. Anachronism क्या होता है? Chronics वर्ड से बना. Anachronism क्या हो गया? Proper time. Chronic क्या होता है? Order. Anachronism not in proper order. Anticlimax. Climax क्या होता है? Yes. Climax is when you are just really building up कि होके रहेगा. So this is there. Like say for example, foreshadows. What is foreshadows? Something hint कि ये होने वाला है और वो कुछ और हो जाए. So something that is what we call as anticlimax. There was anticlimax all over the India-England test series for English supporters in the final test because they thought they were going to win. So that's basic. Archetype, original model for others to. Archetype is something which is there to follow. Brevity. जब भी आप बोलोगे, speak with brevity, concise, to the point. Cliche, stereotype, overused expression. Is it clear? That is what we say. It's a cliche that people are doing this. That is what we say. Is it clear? I'm going to revise it too. पहले first 26 करना है revise. Okay. You will speak with energy. Why are you looking down? Why looking down? Taking your importance. Then why looking down? You should be looking up there. The class is there or down? Concentrate. Where are you concentrated? Huh? कुछ नहीं? Sure? Nothing has happened wrong. Acquittal. That's why Bhupender did not come today. Now you're blushing. Okay. Acquittal. Set free. Exonerate. Concentrate. Acquittal is set free. Exonerate. Adjourn. Suspended. Affidavit. I give you. Annul. The meeting was annulled. Cancelled. Appeal. Higher court. कि भाई मेरी तो appeal लगी हुई है. Arbitration. It's also called, another word is mediation. Arbitration. Bipartisan, when both parties agree. Bipartisan. Bylaw. A law which follows another law. That's what we say, bylaws. Clause. Specifically, within the bill. Clemency. Mercy petition. Mercy plea. Confiscation of property. Seizing. Like Enemy Act में they are seizing properties. Very good example. किसका केस चल रहा है? Enemy Act में उसकी property seize कर ली. Bhopal. Who was the one? This guy is Saif Ali Khan's Saif Ali Khan's grandmother was actually a queen, like one of the princes. So one Bhopal king went to Pakistan, but some didn't stay. The property is happening. So what the court did, so if any person goes to Pakistan, they confiscate the property known as the Enemy Act property. Is it clear or no? So they say we are not enemies, we have stayed back. Again, it's a 40-50,000 crore case. Who would like to give up? Is it clear? Decree. Court order. Devolution, transfer of powers. Doctrine. ये तो कहा गया है. Official set of beliefs. Embezzlement of funds. चोरी करना. Extradition treaty between India and Pakistan. और है तो है नहीं. Sorry, India and US के साथ थी. So this guy Rana, I forgot his name. What's his name? He is there. Remember that thing. So he was the mastermind behind all this. Okay. Embezzlement of funds, चोरी करना. Extradition हो गया. Impeachment. For official case. Injunction notice. कुछ देर के लिए रोक लगा देना. That you cannot do further. Injunction. Ratify. Approve. Where does your allegiance lie? Loyalty. Anachronism. Not anarchy, anachronism, not proper time period. Anticlimax, opposite. You were anticipating बहुत ज़्यादा होएगा, कुछ भी नहीं हुआ. Archetype. Original models to follow others. Brevity, speak with brevity. Concise. Cliche. Overuse, stereotype. Okay. Connotation. ये बहुत important. Implied meaning. Implied refers to not directly given. Connotation refers to not directly. Couplet, दोहे. रहीम जी के दोहे, couplets. Diction, उसकी diction बहुत अच्छी है. The way that he speaks, choice of words that he uses. Is a very good diction. What's another word for it? The idiom for your speech is very good. Gift of the gab. Somebody who knows how to speak properly. Elegy. poem of sorrow for the eulogy क्या होता है praise, elegy क्या होता है sorrow, elegy versus eulogy. Ellipsis, omission of words without changing the meaning. Ellipsis refers to changing of. What's wrong grammar? Soluble. Wrong grammar क्या होता है soluble. Ellipsis, removing of words without changing the meaning. Epithet, descriptive word or phrase to describe a word. Epithet. Fable, short story, tale with a moral ending. What's a fable? Story with a moral ending. Idiom, expression with a meaning different from its. Blue moon, नीला चांद को नहीं बोलते. Once in a while. Somebody we see very regularly. Red moon or red letter day. लाल चिट्ठी का दिन. Auspicious day. Is it clear? That is what we say. So expression with a meaning different from it is idiom. Imagery, descriptive language appealing to senses. Imagery is like when we are able. What's that person's name? Rudyard Kipling was known to put words in such a way that he would create an image for you. So any books which sell, like fiction, they tend to create an imagery for you. Oh, this is the case. Jargon, vocabulary of a book. Monologue, long speech. Kartik Aaryan, he is known for his monologue that he delivered. Dialogue. Dialogue is between two people. A short eclogue. Is it clear? These are the words we have. Narrative, a story or account of events. Parable, short story teaching a moral. Parable and fable refers to the same. Is it clear? That's a tale. That's a story. Satire, use of humor to criticize. Like say for example, Bhagwant Mann was a noted satire artist. What does satire refers to? Use of humor to criticize. Apostate. Apostate क्या होता है बेटा? Apostate, who has given up on religion. ऐसी वन वर्ड गया apostle versus apostle. Apostate तो ये बोलता है भाई साहब कि मैं तो religion में बिलीव नहीं करता. Apostle क्या होता है? Who leads a new faith. Osho was known for an apostle. What is that? He started a new atheism. मेरे हिसाब से तो भगवान ही नहीं है. Beatitude, beauty with attitude. Supreme blessed or happiness also refers to beauty with attitude. Is it clear? Canon, official set of sacred books. One is canon, the other canon is. So what is that's canyon? CANYON. वो तो ये canyon. Is it clear or not? एक तो हो गया आपके पास ये canyon. दूसरा canyon कौन सा हो गया? Yes. How do we say that? That is CANNON. Canon क्या है? Official set of sacred books. A canon is official set of. Canon क्या है? Double N क्या है? तो. Clerical, related to clergy. Clerical. Is it clear? So that is the case. Conscious, जो आपको prevents you from doing, tells you what is right and wrong. वो दिखाते नहीं कार्टून्स में कभी डेविल आ जाता है कभी वो आ जाता है. That's consciousness for you. Creed, statement, क्या कहता है? Religious books. हर एक religious book की एक creed होती है, एक philosophy होती है. उसको क्या बोलते हैं? Creed. Certain set of creeds that you follow. A certain set of beliefs you need to follow. Is it clear or not? So when we talk about it, I may credo. Credo also refers to the creed that you're following. What is I may credo? Creed. What is the I may credo? What does IMICRE do? That your country comes first. Then the comfort of your men. And if then you have any life left, then comes you. So first, what's your first? Country, then men, and then okay. Creed is a statement of religious beliefs. That's the creed. Divination. It is basically foretelling, forecasting, prophecy. Prophecy. ये word बनता है divine power से. Divination. Somebody having a divine power. Divination would be somebody who will be able to tell the future. Forecast, foretell, prophecy. Dogmatic approach. Strongly asserting opinions as true. Dogmatic. WhatsApp tends to create a dogmatic approach. It is asserting opinion. कोई बोलता है कि ये चीज हो जाएगी, ये हो जाएगा, which is not true. But it creates an approach in such a way that is what we call dogmas. When you tend to believe opinions as truth, तो क्या होगा? WhatsApp से लोगों को क्या आता है? Dogmatic approach, which is not true. But they tend to believe. Epiphany. देखो पहले से क्या हुआ? याद है? फुकरेत्री. उसमें उसको क्या होती है? Epiphany. What is epiphany? Where you can think of the future, or that is the sudden realization. Epiphany came to. Okay. Astrology. Study of end times. Extology. So E becomes silent here. Astrology, because it's study of end of times. Kya ho? Is it clear or not? Best example. Ranveer Al-Abadi on his podcast. Putting everybody. Kya hoga? So what he's asking, what kind of question is he asking? Astrological. Is it clear or not? Clear? Okay. Next. Yes. What is your terms of in terms of vocabulary? What are the mistakes you do? Important की जगह important बोल देता है, उसको क्या बोलते हैं? माल malapropism. माला देखो पहनाएंगे props पहन के, कभी फ्रॉक बना दीजिएगा तो उल्टा. Exactly word comes like that. Is it clear? Can you remember? Malapropism. Astrology. End किया था. Hearsay कहाँ सुना? What is hearsay? Belief contrary to accepted doctrine. कहाँ सुना? हमने बोला कि hearsay था कि भाई हाँ. What did Britishers do? They started mixing आटे के अंदर क्या? Pig bones and cow bones. That's a hearsay. Incarnation. ये तो स्वयं ही भगवान है. Incarnation, embodiment of deity or an idea. Is it clear or not? My friend again, he considers जो छोटा सा बच्चा था, incarnation of God, उसको follow करता है. कौन सा था? मुझे फर्क नहीं पड़ता. ठीक है, that's incarnate. Karma. What you did is going to happen to you. Cause and effect. मैंने बताया दो सेट्स ऑफ थ्योरीज थी हिस्ट्री में भी. एक तो बोलते हैं कर्मा, जो करोगे वही करोगे. दूसरा क्या है? फेटलिज्म. भाई तुम्हारी किस्मत में लिखा था. Now this is actually truths. Religious two thoughts beliefs ही हैं. एक बोलता है ये तो किस्मत में लिखा था. दूसरा क्या कहता है? जो करोगे वैसा भरोगे. There are two sets of thoughts that are working still. अगर लिखा ही था तो आप कुछ भी ना करो वो तो मिलना ही है. So that's what we say is fatalism. जो कर्मा वाले थ्योरी वाले बिलीव करते हैं जो आप करोगे वैसा. Okay. Mantra. Sacred word or phrase repeated in. What's a mantra? What's the phrase that you use? Monotheism. Belief in one God. Polytheism. Many. Omnipotent. All powerful. Omnipotent. The word potent refers to powerful. Somebody who is present everywhere. Omnipresent or ubiquitous. Ubiquitous, not ubiquitous, ubiquitous. Ubiquitous is somebody who's present everywhere. Good job. Paganism. Polytheistic or nature-based religion. This is very interesting. Like, say, for example, we believe that our Harappan civilization was a pagan worship. They believe or they pray to the nature. Best example is praying to the trees, the mother goddess. That's what we call paganism. Proselytize. Here, interesting word है. Dharam badalna. Proselytization refers to religion. Secularism क्या होता है? Separation of religion from state affairs. Secular. भारत एक सेकुलर देश है. स्टेट का धर्म क्या है? संविधान. State follows. We take संविधान की शपथ on the we bear by the constitution. So the state has a different religion as compared to the people's religion. Abhor. I detest. Detest का एक और वर्ड क्या होता है? Odious. एक और वर्ड क्या होता है? Painful. Ameliorate करना pain. कम करना. Lessen करना. ये पेन के लिए यूज किया जाता है. Amelioration of pain. Auspicious occasion. अच्छा दिन है. Auspicious refers to a positive outcome. Belligerent, quarrelsome. Quarrelsome. Belligerent colonel shouted at his soldiers. Quarrelsome. Capricious. Whimsicals. What's the word for capricious? Whimsicals. Another word. Tantrums. Apoplexy, sudden change in emotion. Erratic. Is it clear? Tantrums. Outbursts. So that is what we say. Capricious. Complacent. He's very happy with what has happened. Self-satisfied and unmotivated. Deft touch. Skill. Adroit. Adroit refers to skillful. Deride. किसी को mock करना. Ridicule करना. किसी को नीचा दिखाना. एक और word क्या हो जाएगा इसके लिए? हाँ? Libel someone. To mock someone. तू कर लेगा. Libel. Slander someone. Slanderous remark. Right? Dexterous. Ambi refers to both. Dexterous is skill in using hands or mind. Ambidextrous क्या होता है? When you use both. Hand and mind would be dexterous. This is very dexterous. Disparate, not desperate. Disparate. Disparate refers to different. वो तो अलग ही है. Dispersion word से बन जाएगा disparate. Okay. Eloquent. He's very good in while speaking something. Eloquent refers to language, the way that you speak. Erudite, scholarly, having great knowledge. What's another word for liking? Penchant. Erudite refers to scholarly. Frugal, somebody who does not spend money. Miser. Another word? Thrifty. Parsimonious. जो पैसा ना खर्च हो. Guile, he has a certain way. Clever way. What's the word for it? Clever. Witty. Aphorism क्या होता है? Somebody is witty while speaking. In a few sentences, he can speak something. That's what we say. Not for this though. This is the case. Hostile. Enemy. Inimical. Inimical. M-I-C-A-L. Antagonistic. Impartial. Fair. Part. Opposite becomes partisan. Partial. Incessant rain. बारिश इतनी पड़ रही है इतने दिनों से. Incessant means without stopping. Inevitable. होके रहेगा. Certain to happen. Magnanimous. Generous. और क्या? Benevolent. Another word is kind. Morose. Sad. Gloomy. Dull. Dreary. ये सब words हैं. Yes or no? Idiomatic लगाते हैं. Anecdote. short interesting story. Apprehensive, doubtful, करूं या ना करूं, doubtful of the future. Bolster, strengthen. Candor, speak with honesty and openness. Candor, he gave a candor opinion. उसको क्या बोलते हैं, ओपन नहीं बता दिया, उसने विदाउट डरे हुए. I concur with you, I agree with you. Another word for agree, I agree to your trust, mutual agreement. That is, stand by somebody who is, like, say for example, supportive. Not this case. Cursory glance, जल्दी से देखा, देख के छोड़ दिया. Cursory, opposite of cursory would be stare. सिंपल वर्ड्स है. Cursory is थोड़ा सा देखा, opposite क्या हो जाएगा, stare. Devious, devilish. Trickery, another word for trickery is knavery. धोखा देना किसी को. I dissuade you from doing something wrong. Dissuade means stop. Stop someone. Emulate, copy, mime, ersatz. किसी को फॉलो करना. Is it clear? एक और क्या है, उसने प्रेसिडेंट सेट कर दिया तो I have to emulate his footsteps. Feasible, plausible solution. सोचा हुआ, होएगा, feasible, possible. Gratitude, gratuitous, uncalled for. Gratuity, uncalled for. Hiatus, gap, or a pause. Improvise, do something without preparation. Improvise. He improvised on the situation, did it by himself. एक और word होता है, another word which you do not get time for preparation. Speeches के लिए आगे लगाते हैं, E से word है. EXT. अब तो बता दो. Extemporary.